Hello, Gold Derbyites. Welcome back to another edition of Awards Magnet. And this week is special because we finally have our first batch of film awards in, actual nominations to talk about. Instead of theoretical nominations, we have actual nominations. And specifically, it's the Gotham Awards. So I'm Deputy Editor Ethan Alter. I'm here with Senior Editors Marcus James Dixon and Denton Davidson. And we're going to break it all down for you. Welcome, gentlemen.
Yes, I'm excited. We finally have nominations.
Exactly,
They're
right?
not exactly Oscar precursors, so we can't get ahead of our skis here, but I mean it is at least fun to for an awards body to finally get to talk about awards. Like this is what we're here for.
Exactly right. We actually have some guidance about what specific films to talk about, specific nominations to talk about, instead of sort of speculating what could be nomination. We have a full list of things to go over.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the overlap between the Gotham voters and the Oscar voters is probably zero, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Well, just to put it in context a little bit, last year's winner for Best Picture at the Gothams was A Different Man. And the year before that, it was Past Lives, which at least Past Lives at least was nominated at the Oscars. But so we're not going to have the same sort of crossover. In fact, the only winner of a Gotham last year that went on to win an Oscar was No Other Land, which won Best Documentary at both. So, but that's also what makes it fun. You know, with the Gothams, they're not trying to predict the Oscars, and nobody really likes people trying to predict the Oscars with their own awards. Like, it helps us in our predictions, but come on, have some fun. So that's why we like the Gothams.
Yeah. They definitely had some fun with some of these nominations and some of these snubs, which we'll talk about later. I'm still scratching my head over who didn't make it in.
Yeah.
right. Absolutely. Yeah. No, for people who aren't aware, just to sort of give some background on the Gothams, because they are sort of, in a way, new on the scene in a strange way. They've been around 35 years, but the way they've positioned themselves in the awards races now is relatively recent. So they are handed out every year by the Gotham Film and Media Institute, which is a nonprofit organization. The awards used to mainly be focused on New York-based and Northeast films, especially in the independent realm. That was their focus for a long time. But they expanded, and now it's this mix of studio movies, international releases, independent releases that really do correspond in some cases to what the big award season movies are. So that's sort of that's the lane they occupy now. And they're also the first one out of the gate before a lot of the big guilds announce, before the Golden Globes announce. So they get the benefit of being first. And that's part of the exciting thing, is being the first out and getting specific movies to talk about. The other things they've done is that in 2021, they did away with gendered acting categories. And so now they just have gender neutral lead performance and supporting performance categories with 10 nominations apiece in each. So that's the way they've approached that. And all the nominees are deciding on by nominating committees instead of a body of voters, which is interesting. And the committees are made up of film critics, industry types, tastemakers, things like that. So it is a different approach. And that's why you wind up with an eclectic batch of nominees, as you were saying, and definitely an eclectic batch of winners compared to what the mainstream academy tends to like.
I want to be a tastemaker. How do I? That sounds cool.
And
It's one thing to be first, and it's great to be first. But what if you're Marty Supreme? What if you're Is This Thing On? I mean, I guess they weren't ready in time, so the Gothams weren't able to watch them and vote. So, I mean, maybe they're a little too early. I guess we could argue about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, we learned from sources close to both of those movies that they weren't ready in time for the deadline. And so they weren't eligible for release. Avatar, Fire and Ash would be another one, although that would be a hard one to include in the Gothams, I think. Even if they've expanded to studio movies, I think it's hard to argue that maybe a James Cameron blockbuster belongs there.
Thought of as a little more indie, right? So, I mean, I think there's already some people that are annoyed about one battle after another. I mean, it was a bigger budget film. It's leading the nominations. So, I mean, there's already a little pushback for that. So, I agree. You know, Avatar is not a typical Gotham's contender.
Yeah, the Gothams used to be more like the Independent Spirit Awards, and now it's kind of like a combination of the Spirits and the Oscars, which is kind of weird to wrap my head around after all those years of them being like the champion of the underdog. And one battle after another is not an underdog, and it actually comes in with 6 nominations, the most ever. I guess this is a record. Congratulations to everyone involved.
If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You is the second most nominated film with 4. So that sort of represents, I think, what a lot of people think of as the kind of movie that's right for Gothams and right in the Gotham wheelhouse. We're going to break down the predictions that for each of the 10 categories. And what's interesting, as you're thinking about making your predictions, as we've been saying, keep in mind that a movie like One Battle probably won't finish first at the Gothams. It is unlikely. So we might choose picks that are going to seem off base compared to where the Oscars are going, but that's just based on our history of what we see from the Gothams when we start picking these. So I think that's something to keep in mind. And I'll be curious to see how you both approach your picks in those categories. If you are going to be thinking along the lines of A Different Man or ones like those compared to the major Oscar contenders that we're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, there's no bad choice here. You're not going to look stupid no matter who you're choosing, because I mean, this is sort of one of those, you could throw a dart at the board, and that's what, again, it's what makes these a little more fun.
Absolutely. All right, let's dive into Best Feature. That's going to be the first one off.
I would have totally predicted, in terms of Gold Derby predictions, which you can go now and predict who you think is going to win at the Gothams. I would have predicted Begonia, except for the fact that Emma Stone got snubbed, Jesse Plemons got snubbed. It's like, how much do they really love this movie? Yorgos got snubbed for director. I mean, this is its only nomination for picture. So I'm not going to predict it for that reason alone. And I am going to either go with If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, or One Battle After Another. And I know you guys just said One Battle's not going to win, but it could. Yeah. I mean, it's possible.
It could. You know what? I actually have it on top right now as in my preliminary picks as well. And Hamnet right under it. And again, Hamnet's been like one of the hottest movies in our Oscar predictions. And again, Gothams does not care. So it could be If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. One of the films that I'm really sort of rooting for and seeing could make a push is Train Dreams. That's really the one that I'm kind of watching out for the most to see, is this a breakthrough for Train Dreams?
You know, your favorite, Ethan, is Testament of Van Lee. Are you actually predicting it to win?
I'm not. That is my favorite movie so far this year, and I would love to see it. But I think the one I'm actually going with is Sorry Baby, the Eva Victor movie that was a big hit at Sundance, and that seems to be in line with where the Gothams tend to like to reward things. So that's the one I'm sort of have on my top right now, and I could definitely see that being the Sundance favorite. Train Dreams was another Sundance favorite that Netflix picked up. A24 got Sorry Baby, but I right now I'm looking at Sorry Baby as the one, the likely candidate based on the Gotham's track record.
It looks like Sorry Baby also has an original screenplay nom. So is it possible it could just win screenplay and not picture? Could they split?
Yeah, for sure. I think the Gothams tend to spread the wealth. If you look at past years, they do tend to like to recognize 10 different films across categories. It's rare to see multiple wins. So I think if it doesn't win Best Film, then Best Original Screenplay is where it winds up for sure.
So we're all predicting something different for picture. That's kind of exciting.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No. And again, not necessarily thinking of the One Battle. It's that one that's lingering out there. Could, but the Gothams like to swerve, and they know that there will be honors down the road. So the nomination is almost honor in that case.
As Denton said, Hamnet is also possible here. It's in my top 3, and it's just such a beautiful film. But I could see Jessie Buckley maybe winning actress, and then the film not winning picture.
I think it's safe to say that the ones that probably won't break through, even if they do at least get nominations, are things like East of Wall and Familiar Touch. There again, the nomination is the recognition. And I liked East of Wall quite a bit. That was another Sundance movie that it's sort of in the Chloe Zhao school. It uses non-actors. It's very much like her the movie The Writer that sort of broke her out in terms of how it approaches its subject and style. So that you can see those movies sort of find their place, but I don't think they have enough support to necessarily win. But it's nice to see them recognized. The Gothams is a good place to see movies like that recognized for sure. Going to international feature.
I mean, Nouvelle Vague and Resurrection aren't even submitted for international feature, so like those two are not going to get the Oscars. Sound of Falling is Germany's pick. So I mean, this is interesting. Just the we didn't get into all the other categories yet, but it's just interesting to see how the international films have fared in the nominations overall. Like we see, it was just an accident and no other choice. But Sentimental Value, which is higher than both in our odds for Oscars, is nowhere in these upper categories for Best Picture, Director. There is a couple acting nominations that we'll get to, but overall, it was just an accident and no other choice did better, I would say, at the Gothams. And then we also have a Best Director nominee for Surat, which is Spain's international feature that did not get nominated for Best International Feature. So I mean, they're all over the place with how they're treating international films, and that's fun. I mean, because they're treating them like mainstream movies, and I think that's kind of where the direction of international film is going. They are more accessible, they're more popular than ever at the Oscars, and it's going to be interesting to see how this international feature race shakes out this year, because I don't know anymore who's really the front runner.
It's funny, if Sentimental Value was nominated here in international feature, I would be predicting it to win easily because of how well, like Den just said, it's doing in our Oscar predictions. I think is it fourth place to win Best Picture, and here it doesn't even get into Best Picture, let alone Best International Feature. But since it's not here, I think I have to go with it was just an accident. Jafar got in for director, he got in for original screenplay. They clearly loved this movie, and that's going to be my pick to win.
Yeah, I think for me it was just an accident. Is the one thing that's almost closest to the front runner that we have in the international category, and that's because of Jafar Panahi's sort of status in the world, the fact that this grew out of his own time in prison, in an Iranian prison. So there's that story behind it. He's made movies under the threat of persecution ever since, and I think it really shows the love that people have for him. And this film in particular is in some ways more commercial than some of his past movies. It's almost a thriller in some ways, but it also is shot through with dark comedy, and so it's playing very, very well. And it feels like that international movie that can definitely cross over into the big races that way. And this is a sign that it's en route that way. Confirmation of that. Heading into, Denton, your specialty, documentaries, best documentary features.
I mean, first of all, to make a list of 5 documentaries is impressive, and whatever the award is, because there's like 17,000 documentaries, like you're never going to see them all. So this is a really good list. The Perfect Neighbor is the early front runner for this, because that's the populist choice. This is the very popular documentary that is rightfully outraging people. It's on Netflix. Everybody's watching it. So I think just by the visibility of it, that is the top pick. Right now, I'm predicting 2,000 meters to Andreevka. I mean, that's Mstislav Chernov, who won a couple years ago for 20 Days in Mariupol. So I also think Put Your Soul in Your Hand and Walk could surprise. So, I mean, this is one of those categories that's very tricky.
And then do you expect to see any of these pop up throughout the rest of the season? Anything that you think is going to go from here to the Oscars?
2,000 meters to Andreevka could definitely be a documentary feature nominee at the Oscars. I would say that of these would be the one. And Put Your Soul in Your Hand and Walk is getting mentions other places. The Perfect Neighbor has as well. So, I mean, those three, I still think 2,000 meters to Andreevka has like the most, prestige about it and the way that it's filmed. So that's the one I'm looking at. And I don't know that that's throughout the Gothams will go or care about, but I just feel like that's really the strongest one, in my opinion, of this group. And you have to remember, No Other Land won last year. So the Gothams will go a political, war-torn, I mean, very much like the Academy. So that's another thing that 2,000 meters is getting into. It's about, war in Ukraine. And Mstislav Chernov, again, who did 20 Days in Mariupol, is the best at everything going on in that region and the best documentary filmmaker for that job. Whether they know or will give him like 2 Oscars in 3 years, I don't know, but he's doing amazing things.
All right, moving into Best Director.
Surat, I will say, is and even at the screening, the studio acknowledged that it's a very polarizing film. There are people that absolutely hate it, but it's shocking in many ways. So definitely check it out if you haven't. But it's I'm surprised to see him there and not in Best International Feature or any other mention. That's just a very odd inclusion. Jafar Panahi, again, he's not surprising. He's probably the front runner, but there's like something in my gut saying Mary Bronstein is going to win this. I don't know why. It's just like sound alarms in my head.
Well, If I Had Legs has four chances to win, and I do think it's going to be this, or it's going to be best lead performance, which we'll get to soon. But yeah, no, I agree. I think that's the self. Panahi is my pick right now as well, because and it could launch him into the Oscar race. I fully expect to see him among the final Best Director candidates, and possibly a win again with the narrative that he has behind him. And so this is the start of that. So right now I'm predicting him, but I wouldn't. To your point, I wouldn't be surprised if this is where If I Had Legs shows up as well.
I'm thinking this is really a three-way race. Like Mary is sort of the indie darling, Jafar is maybe the prestige international pick, and then Paul is, of course, the Career Achievement Award. And I don't know which one which narrative they're gonna anoint here. So right now I'm just doing Paul Thomas Anderson. He's my default front runner for the time being. Maybe I'll switch that to Mary, but then Jafar is also sticking out to me. So I don't know what to do. I'm sorry. I'm letting everyone down. This is a tough category.
Last year, Ramel Ross won for Nickel Boys and beat Sean Baker for Honora. So it's going to be interesting. Although both had longevity through the race, I don't know if all of these directors will. So I mean, Panahi may be the best bet for your buck here.
Yeah. Especially because Ramel for Nickel Boys, that was a very personal story to him. It was a very directorial film. I mean, just the point of view of that film. So if he won that, maybe Jafar is going to be my pick then.
Yeah. I love how we just throw Paul Thomas Anderson away.
He's away with you, PTA.
Right? he's by far the top Oscar contender, and we're just no, not that one.
But that goes to the Gothams of it all, because it does feel like it would be a too obvious choice for the Gothams to make. Yeah. So maybe we're gaming our stars out a little too much, but when you're talking Gothams, it is while he seems a clear candidate to win the Oscars. Not so much of the Gothams. You do have to take that into account, that he's just maybe a little too studio, a little too big now to win that.
It's like when you're watching a murder mystery movie and you're like, oh, that's obviously the killer, so it's not going to be him. It's like Paul's, I mean, obviously the one that should be the front runner, but it's like, is that too obvious?
Right. Exactly. Best original screenplay candidates. I already made my choice clear. I think it's most likely going to be Sorry Baby Here if it doesn't win best film. There are a lot of really strong original screenplay candidates from overseas this year in the running.
Yeah, The Secret Agent we haven't seen in the categories we've discussed so far. We'll see it in Best Actor or Best Lead Performance. But yeah, interesting. I'm going with you here, Ethan. I have Sorry Baby. Sorry.
Yeah. There we go.
Sorry. My Kate Hudson accents. Sorry Baby is my top pick here.
Well, since I didn't pick Mary for director, I'm going to pick Mary for original screenplay and say If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You is my pick to win this one.
I love how we're all splitting up our choices.
I know.
But we're doing them in different categories. So we're all going to get 10% correct on this.
It's going to be like the daytime Emmys all over again, where we all just
don't mention the daytime Emmys.
Trash.
Our Waterloo. The best adapted screenplay is again an interesting category here. I'm going to go Train Dreams. I think that's going to factor in somewhere, and I think it also has a similar shot again in the Oscars for best adapted screenplay. This is my pick for Netflix's sort of little engine that could, pun somewhat intended, movie this season. I think as more people see it, it's really a beautiful little movie. Little emphasis on little, but I think as people see it, it could really break out that way.
I agree with you. We're vibing, Ethan. Bald vibes.
It's the bald, right?
I have Train Dreams too. I think this could be the place where this sort of breaks out. No Other Choice, very unique and interesting. And then One Battle After Another, we just keep throwing to the side. Watch it win for all 6 of them.
Exactly.
It's going to win something.
Yes.
And Pillion in preparation for The Next Life, those two just haven't made noise yet, so this is sort of their hello, I'm here moment.
I'm going to go with No Other Choice. It's such a wild and crazy story, and it just seems like a perfect option to win the Gotham. You know what's weird? If Chloe Zhao was nominated here for Hamnet, I would be predicting her in a heartbeat. I saw her at at an event when Hamnet came to LA, and she just talked for most of the Q&A. She talked about adapting the book to the movie, and I'm like, okay, so this is going to be their narrative for Hamnet, as how she, helped adapt this project, and now she's not nominated here. But I think she'll be fine going forward. I think she'll get in for Screenplay Awards, at other events.
I do like your pick of another choice, because I do think that movie is another sort of stealth candidate throughout the season. People really love Park Chan-wook. It's a really strong film. It's very timely in the way it deals with this idea of AI and automation and what it does to workers. And so, I really do think there's a lot of love for that film, and it could factor in somewhere for sure. And Screenplay is a good place for it. All right, getting on to lead performance. And again, this is a gender-neutral category.
Can I just start by saying who's not here? Leonardo DiCaprio.
Please.
I mean, his movie gets the most nominations at 6, and did they forget that he exists? What's going on? How did he miss here? It blows my mind. But I'm over that. Leo will do just fine in his career. I have
his heart will go on. Yes.
Yes. Oh, that's good one. Good one. For me, Jessie Buckley gave the best performance I've seen so far this year, and I haven't seen some of these contenders quite yet. But I mean, just the way people have been reacting to her performance, specifically like the final 10 minutes of the movie, she just completely blew me away, and I could see her running the whole season, winning at every single award show. So this could be the start of her journey. I'm going to go with Jessie.
I have Jessie as well. I think she is one actor this year that could end up sweeping awards season once we get to the televised awards. So I don't know that means Gotham all the time. I mean, last year the winner was Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, and he didn't win anything else really. And I also think it could be Rose Byrne or Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. Is very good. He's moving up in our ranks. He's now broken into the Oscar top 5 for Best Actor. The rest of them are not really up for Oscar consideration. Amanda Seyfried, she did recently move in as well. So I think those are the top 4 that people are expecting. And then 5 through 10 are sort of, again, you could throw a dart at the board.
It's funny. I'm going with Rose Byrne for this one because she's the little movie another little movie that could. If she's the centerpiece of If I Had Legs I'd Kick You. It's a very difficult performance. It is the kind of performance that the Gotham I could see really going over with Gotham's voters because of the stunt involved. She's a New York royalty as well, so there's that. I feel like, and she's on the bubble in our Oscar nods too. She's in the top 5 currently, about to move out, possibly move up. I think she's someone who I do take seriously as a contender beyond this, and so a win here would really help her, I think. So I can see them doing the Rose Byrne move as a way to get her into the Oscar conversation more seriously.
I think we should be watching out for Ethan Hawke for the rest of the season as well. He's not in our nominations for most of the other awards. I think that is someone we really need to keep an eye on for the rest of the season.
Everybody loves Ethan, and he's on a new TV show as well, The Lowdown.
Right, exactly.
But he's one of those people. He could potentially get 2 Golden Globe nominations, like one for television, one for film.
Over in supporting performance, another packed category there. Anyone standing out to you?
I love Skarsgård on Skarsgård. I mean, that's...
Father and son.
I had Stellan in first and he's also leading in the Oscar predictions, but there's a couple people from Sentimental Value. I'm not maybe they'll split a little bit. I'm not sure. So I kind of just settled on Adam Sandler now for Jake.
Okay.
So I'm going with Adam Sandler. I think Tiana Taylor is my pick for the big awards. She's not new to the Gothams, and I could definitely see her starting her win streak here. But I'm gonna go with Adam Sandler for now.
That is a bold choice. I respect it. I wanted to mention Sean Penn is missing here, even though he's kind of leading our odds for the Oscars, which is crazy. But Benicio del Toro gets in for One Battle, and so does Tiana Taylor. I was looking back at the history of this category, which is only 4 years long, was when they started combining them, and it's been 4 men in a row: Troy Kotzer, Ki Hai Kwan, Charles Melton for May December, and Clarence Macklin for Sing Sing. So part of me is like, if that story gets out that it's 4 men in a row in a non-gender category, that's going to really maybe affect the voters' choices. So I'm looking specifically at women here, and Tiana Taylor just completely blew me away. Even though she's only in a third of that movie, she's what people were talking about the day after they saw it. So I'm going to go with Tiana. And as Denton said, she's already known at the Gothams for previous nominations. So she just seems perfect for this. And hey, she won the Masked Singer too. We can't forget. It's the rare cross between award shows and the Masked Singer. So we have to give it to her.
When I think of that movie, she's still the first person that comes to mind. And you see
her
the
pregnant belly, right?
You see the posters all over the bus stops in LA of her with that wrap on and her pregnant belly out holding a gun. I mean, she is the image of one battle after another. And I think the more time passes, it's like she's the presence in that movie that I don't get out of my head. I think she's going all the way this year.
And she's the perfect reason why there is a supporting category. Like, she's there to support the other characters in the film. She's not the lead. There's no category fraud here. This is what the category is made for.
Yeah. The argument is she disappears halfway through the film. It's like, good. She's a supporting actress. Disappear.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Get out of here. You're not.
Go. It's funny. I'm actually picking the other Blue Moon person in this one, Andrew Scott. Again, another sort of part. He comes in and then leaves when he's done. But he's great, and it's a role that shows off a different side of him, I think. So that's the one that I'm looking at. I'm not sold on it, but when I think about that movie, Ethan Hawke obviously is the main showcase. But I think Andrew Scott has that sort of under the radar performance that could potentially play very well with the Gotham crowd. And again, people love him, people respect him for going back to Fleabag and before. So I could see him maybe breaking through in supporting actor as a result. But the Tiana love is real, and this could be where they decide to honor one battle for sure.
Yeah, this could be the first trophy on her long journey.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the going to breakthrough performer, I will just say here that I think this is where one battle wins. I think Chase Infinity is going to get breakthrough performer, and that's their one battle. Their obligatory one battle win is going to be her, because she's the Mikey Madison of this year. So I really see her breaking through that way.
You could be spot on there. That one battle only wins one trophy, and it's for Chase. I think if she does lose this, then it's to Tonatiuh, because his role in Kiss of the Spider Woman was so heralded. Everyone that watched it, granted, it wasn't a lot of people that watched that movie, but those that did had nothing but amazing things to say about this guy. And he was actually, I mean, Denton can tell the story. He was walking people to their seats in Los Angeles at the movie theater. So he's out there.
We went to a screening and he was there, and he was like, he walked me to my seat and was telling me about the movie, and it was not like a planned media engagement. He just was doing it. So he's out there working hard. But actually, it was a screening for these students that he taught formerly that had come to that screening as well. So it was a really actual sweet and cool thing that he was doing. But I'm predicting Chase Infinity here as well. I do think Tonatiuh could be the spoiler here. I do think he sort of outshines J-Lo. Sorry, J-Lo, in that movie. He is the star of the film, and this is a huge breakout year for him. But I don't think there's a story quite like Chase Infinity this year.
Right. And again, I just don't think anyone saw Kiss of the Spider Woman. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that it already is out in theaters and is basically gone. It was released very quietly, and it feels like people are just they've already put it in their rear view, and it's always possible they can make it come back as a result, and they benefit from that. But it just feels like that one just didn't take off, didn't ignite, and so this is the sort of last hurrah.
And it's not like it's like a tiny little indie that you're like, oh, like it's nice and sweet. It's like, no, it was a musical with big names attached, and it just didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah. It could get in a lot of crafts though, like the production design, the costumes, the cinematography. It was very beautiful, striking to look at.
But again, we'll see. I think the one battle win could potentially come there. It does seem with 6 nominations, it will be honored somewhere. I think it's safe to say. Well, let's all pick the heading is now that the Gothams have we have these Gotham nominations set. What's the movie that benefits the most from this? We've talked a little bit about this, but if there's one movie or performer that you think benefits the most from this recognition, what would you say heading as we keep going into award season?
I'll start. For me, Jacob Elordi getting in here is just a huge boost to his chances. I was looking at his odds at Gold Derby for the Oscars, Golden Globes, and SAG Awards, and he's in 8th place across the board, 8th place in all of them. So, I mean, he's right. I guess you would call that on the bubble of getting in at each of these ceremonies, especially that the Globes have 6 contenders, so he's very close. So something like this definitely helps an on the bubble candidate. And then Frankenstein is also getting the Vanguard tribute at the Gothams, so that's more publicity that this film will get. It's right now just in limited theaters, so a lot of people still haven't seen it, but it's coming to Netflix in a week or two. So I think once that happens, we're going to see Jacob go even higher in all of these odds. He's like the rising star of the year, basically, besides Chase Infinity.
I'm going to look for what Train Dreams can do. I still think this is the little movie that could. It's Clint Bentley, and him and Greg Kuidar work side by side. They do all their films together, and they swap who's directing each one. So last year they did Sing Sing, and Greg directed that one. Sing Sing last year, I kept saying it could be the Coda, and then I think A24 ran about the worst possible campaign they could for that movie. I think it was like they were deliberately sabotaging it because they had higher priorities. So to A24, I think they were terrible with how they ran Sing Sing. That's just my opinion. And you look at this, and it's funnily enough, Gothams is where Sing Sing broke out last year. I mean, for Coleman Domingo and Clarence Macklin, they both won lead and supporting performance at this. So maybe Netflix can do a better job with their film and get it some recognition. I think it's rising in Netflix's priority list as films come out and people watch them. Just like there wasn't a person that didn't like Sing Sing last year. And that's what I'm hearing about Train Dreams this year. No matter how small it is, I mean, you never know what's going to happen. And we can always just look back to Coda and just like the little, almost what people call a TV movie, like becomes Best Picture. So I'm looking to see what Train Dreams can do.
Absolutely. I'm going to jump off your A24 mention with Sing Sing and go to If I Legs, I Kick You, because that's another A24 movie that's, as I mentioned earlier, on the bubble in a lot of cases. And I think this recognition for it helps put it in front of voters and maybe convinces them to watch it, because it's an intense hit. I won't lie. It's a harrowing movie to watch, not an easy watch. I can see a lot of people not wanting to watch it. But if it has Gotham support with 4 nominations and it wins 1, I think that moves it up the screener pile. And that could definitely help it, especially for Rose Byrne as she's seeking to break into Best Actress. So I think the Rose Byrne Oscar contender status starts here if she wins. I think then she becomes a serious in contention for a nomination for an Oscar. But that's Gotham. So we've done it. We've gotten through our first nominations list. There are a lot more to come, a lot longer to come, a lot more varied films to come. But the Gothams are fun. They are exciting. They as weird as it is to sort of not be talking around the big movies like One Battle After Another, or the ones that aren't there like Marty Supreme. Like, it's nice to see some of these smaller movies get recognized. If there's a function of something like this for the Gothams, then that's great. The Gothams are doing their job there by shining a light on some of these smaller movies.
It's a fun way to kick things off. So
right.
We'll see how they play.
I just don't want to get 0% in my predictions. I hope some of my picks come true.
Right.
That's all I care about.
A 0% would be beautiful.
I think we'll get above the 0 mark. I think it won't be another daytime Emmys, like we said. Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for joining me. If you have any thoughts, opinions, questions, voicemails about the Gothams or the rest of award season, please hit us up at awardsmagnet@goldderby.com. And we'll be back in your ears and in your feeds very soon with another fresh episode with different interviews and different analysis of the award shows coming up. Thanks again for listening. Thanks for listening to Awards Magnet, Gold Derby Podcast. Like what you heard? Leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Awards Magnet is produced by Andrew Merrill. Our logo is designed by Chelsea Sakura. Please like and subscribe to stay on top of all the awards news, and email us at awardsmagnet@goldderby.com.